Hey, hockey fans! Minnesota Hockey Connection is on the air. We're on the air for the next half hour. I'm Kenny Gallagher along with Jerry Burrow. Jerry, it's been a long time.
Where have you been, Ken? I've been looking for you. I wanted to do a show, and
I've been in quarantine.
oh my God,
I've been masked up.
You and Rebel and Jan.
Ay. Now, what were you saying? We were the first show after.
We're the first show right now, coming on at PACT-TV Studios, and we were the last show before the COVID closed down City Hall,
goodness. So
where the PACT-TV Studios are.
March of 2020 then.
So we're pretty famous, you know. We're the last and first. It's like Life-O, Fight-O.
All at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow. A lot has happened since then. I think the big news, of course, is, and maybe we'll just kind of turn this into a show about what's happening at Duluth East, because Mike Randolph, as most people know, he didn't retire.
Right.
He's resigned from coaching.
Right.
And you've got the details, and you can share that with the listeners.
Right. What happened is that, again, a few parents are not happy with Coach Randolph, and they got a lawyer, and they brought some issues up to the school board. They went to the AD and principal and superintendent of schools. And so they were going to have a school board meeting on this. And what happened is Mike went, like everyone knows that knows Coach Randolph and the Duluth East program, he went through this 20 years ago almost. It was 2003, I think. And it was a long process, and he had to take a year off, go through this process to get his job back. But the main thing back 20 years ago, he got his job back, but a lot of people that didn't like the way Mike coached were on his side. You probably remember that in newspapers and everything, articles. People came through, people came to school board meetings. A whole bunch of coaches came up from the cities for these meetings. A lot of people that just didn't believe what's going on with the school board and how they were handling this whole thing, and it was just wrong. So he got his job back, and now, 18 years later, it's happening again, and he didn't want to bring this through his family no more. And it really comes down to the parents that are not happy with playing time, not being on a special teams, power play, penalty kill.
Really?
It still comes down to that. And so far this year, there's 4 coaches that are major coaches that have been around for 20 years or more, have been let go because of parents not liking the coach.
Well, it's a good thing that Coach Jim Molosky up at UMD wasn't coaching in this era. He wouldn't have lasted.
No. Well.
How about Herb Brooks?
Herb Brooks is he was a protege. He proteged Mike.
Coach Forbert at Central.
Right.
I mean, you can go on and on and on. And this is sad. So can the school board not accept his resignation and allow him to coach?
Well, they didn't want to sign a new contract. It's a year-to-year usually contract, and they didn't want to give him a new contract.
The school board.
Yes.
So the school board then.
So basically, and plus the AD, Sean Rowe, the principal, I don't know her name right now offhand, but Lori Knapp's not there no more. And then this new superintendent that came up from Green Bay, and none of them would talk to Mike. Have to go through the school board.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you know if Duluth East has started looking for a new coach?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so they're
looking. And
well, what's Mike's next move? Is Mike going to coach hockey, high school hockey?
I haven't really talked to him because I know there's been a million people that have talked to him, and his phone's ringing off, and he probably doesn't even answer the phone 90% of the time unless he knows who he's going to be talking to. And so I'm just going to wait a few days, and then I'll get a hold of him. But when they had that press conference last Friday, there's probably 150 there, but I was.
Where's that? Oh, we're working through some deals here. Well, let me ask you, Jerry.
She's
Yep.
gonna go talk.
Okay, what was I gonna say? Just hang on. So Mike Randolph can't coach anymore within ISD 709. I think that's kind of a safe bet.
Unless they want to give him a new contract, but
Well, would
he'd
be-
want to.
It would be
never.
Denfeld.
Never. This is the second time. No, because they got,
Denfeld would be the other option, I guess.
Jagel's there.
They got a coach. Okay.
Yeah, good coach.
What about a private school? Oh, I don't know, Duluth Marshall, his alma mater.
That's
Cathedral.
true. Mike and I went to Cathedral.
Now they've got a coach up there.
Right. They brought him in from New York, I think.
New York, huh?
Yeah. But he's done a lot of hockey.
Yeah.
And they're saying that he's knows how to find players
Yeah.
on the outside. So we'll see on the Marshall program.
Just knowing Mike, knowing the situation, would Mike be a good fit at Duluth Marshall?
I'd say no, because of all the families that when Marshall was trying to take Duluth East players, they have to recruit. It's a private school. They don't have a feeder program. They don't have a Pee Wee program, Bantam program that can move up into the high school, where Duluth East does. So what they have to do is they're looking at all these parents have a little money in that, and they're talking to these players, come up to Marshall, come up. They've taken a lot of good players.
Okay,
The
that's
Connolly's,
sure. Well, they came out of the Denfeld program, though.
But they would have been the East.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
dad
okay.
moved in the East End.
Ah. Okay, so with all that behind him, I guess, or behind us now, you don't think that he could go to Marshall, have a successful program, and do well up there?
I don't think he would want to. I think now that he has 3 kids in the cities, there's 4 grandkids between those 3, and I think his best bet, if he was going to coach again, would be go down to the cities, find a good school, and there's going to be a lot of schools that are going to want him.
Who are some?
Well, any private school down there.
Yeah.
Any private school. But now Lakeville South, the top program down there. There's Chaska. Whatever opens up. There's
Yeah.
Elk River could be one, but I don't know if he would go there. But what I think he would, if he's going to coach again, he'd go down there and get a good school and bring in Jake as an assistant coach.
His son.
Jake,
Yeah.
who played college hockey and played pro hockey. That's where I think it might go if it goes. But you got to remember, Mike's 69.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, if you look back, people say, the people that don't like Mike don't know Mike. They never got to know Mike. And I know Mike's a hard person to get to know if you're not hockey, because he's always at the hockey rink. He lives there. That's his life. Then he gets home, he goes downstairs and studies hockey.
Yeah.
But if you look, the old saying on the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, Mike's family, look at his 4 kids. They adore their dad. The grandkids adore their dad. They're all successful. So he did something,
Yeah.
How can you say,
Yeah.
What's happening is just they're jealous parents that want their kids to be on the first line, not do the hard work, not take out the garbage. And Mike is a very disciplined coach. He's an old school coach, but he's a lot better than, the old school coaches. You wouldn't have kick butt.
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
the kid to do
Yeah.
something. And that's the way we learned, right? You've had coaches
Absolutely.
that, you ever have Rip Williams,
Well, he wasn't my coach, but he
but
ran
he was
the
around. He was around that rink.
Oh, yeah.
And so he scared you.
Well, yeah. You respected him because of that discipline.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And these kids, they need this more now than any time, is that a mentor that can discipline them. You used to see all the letters and posts on social media of all these kids are coming out now that really, they had a hard time with Mike during their playing days, but said it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here where I am today because the discipline I got from this coach,
Right.
that he wouldn't let me get by with this. I have
Right.
to be 100% at practice. If I'm not, get off the ice, or, stuff that would basically piss these kids off back then when
Yeah.
they're teenagers.
Well, this is not good for Duluth hockey. Mike is
It's not good for any hockey in Minnesota.
high school hockey, yeah.
He's the third most winning coach in high school hockey. Some people, you can argue, he might be the best high school coach that Minnesota ever produced in high school.
Okay.
I mean, that'd be a hard argument.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess the first that comes to mind is Edina's former head coach.
But remember, he had all the players and all that, and Edina, every kid that wanted to play hockey moved to Edina on that, and they had the players, and they all went pro.
Yeah, yeah.
But look at Mike had 18 state tournaments. Who has 18 state tournaments in the hard district is 7 over the years, you know? You think about it.
Well, you would know, and 2 state championships, 3 at Duluth East. I think 1960 they had a state championship, but 2 under Mike Randolph. I hope that Mike coaches again, and I think he will.
Right.
Do you think he's going to bide his time and kind of wait and maybe?
The longest, if he's going to coach again, the longest he'll wait is this is just because the season is in the summer and the state high school league lets coaches do practices with their high school players for 2 months now, June and July. So I think if he doesn't pick something really comes up fast,
Yeah.
that he would really look like, let's say Lakeville South. They were second place in the state tournament. Kivi Hani, who played at UWS up here, is a coach down there. And he got kicked out basically by the parents too.
So there's an opening there.
Yes, but I don't know. Right now it's going so fast that he might have to wait 1 year. But there'll be so many things that'll come to him. Everyone will be calling him. I'll guarantee you that.
Well, that was going to be my next question, is that his phone is ringing off the hook.
Oh,
Yeah.
everyone that knows him, which is thousands and thousands of people.
How about outside of the state?
No,
Yeah.
no way.
Soup Town's not.
It's going to be his
The
kids.
Spartans wouldn't want Mike Randolph?
There you go. Hey, he's been offered D1 coaching jobs back
Okay.
out of state, and
Well,
he
that
didn't
brings
take
up.
it.
Okay, well, that brings up a whole different thought here. Then do you think he would move out of the realm of high school coach?
No, I think high school is where he wants to be at, where he can make kids better players, better people, and grow up and have a good career or whatever they want to do in their life.
I know Mike's name has been floated around when it comes to even college, being a college coach. You don't see that being a possibility?
Well, he did coach St. Scholastica
Yeah.
for 3 years, and he was assistant coach at UMD for 3 years. So he does have, and Herb, a lot of people don't know this. Herb Brooks, before he died, that was his little protege. He wanted to teach Mike everything that he knew.
Really?
They're on the phone all the time. The day before he died, they're on the phone that night.
Huh.
That's when Mike was going through all the stuff at Duluth East, though.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But he was helping him through that. But Herb, if he wanted to go back in pro hockey coaching, he would have probably hired Mike as an assistant. He loved Mike. He didn't meet him really where they really started talking all the time until 1995 when Spihar year, when they won the state tournament. And so they went out after the state tournament, they went out, him and Larry Traxel, and went out to the Pizza Hut and sat there all night.
It's interesting because, we talk so much about that year, that 1995 with Spihar. What did Herb Brooks think of Dave Spihar? What did he think of that Duluth East hockey team?
He loved him.
Yeah.
He loved him. He loved the way Mike coached him. He loved him. That's why he wanted to get with Mike at that point, and they became best friends, and that's why he wanted to teach Mike anything Herb knew. And, it says it all right there. You don't know the people this last week that came out of the woodwork because of this, and how it hurts. Most people are saying how it hurts hockey in general. Why would you want to be a coach? Why would you want to be a ref? When you get parents, you get a couple, you get 10% of the parents on any team that it's all about their kid only.
Yeah.
And they can wreck everything. And why would you want to coach? Why would you want to ref? Why? It can ruin the game because you can't find refs no more. You can't find coaches it has to be fun.
Well-
they do it. They don't do it for money.
Right,
coaches.
right. They do get paid, but it's not a great amount of money.
They went up to 10 cents, 12 cents. They got a raise an hour.
Oh, I see. Okay. So they're moving on.
Right.
Well, if you've just joined us, the Minnesota Hockey Connection, I'm Kenny Gallagher, Jerry Burrow. This is our first taping. I honestly don't remember when we taped last. It was last, was it last March?
No, we did it. I think September, wasn't it? Or was it October? Okay.
We squeezed in an October.
Yeah, we
show.
got one show in
Oh.
before they looked at us and said,
Okay.
"Close the place down."
Well, the big topic, Mike Randolph, Duluth East hockey coach, did not retire from coaching. He just resigned from Duluth East. So Mike's going to be back. Where? Well, just stay tuned. We're not sure. I was thinking that, maybe Duluth Marshall would be a good fit. His alma mater, Duluth, Cathedral, before it was changed to Marshall. And that program has struggled over the years. And could Mike go in there, make a difference, and bring that school to prominence that it used to see?
Oh, I know he can make a difference, but I don't. My money is on that he goes to the Twin Cities and finds a job down there and be around his grandkids, because now he's really connected with his
Yeah.
kids and with the grandkids. He can take them, spoil them, and give them back to his kids.
Well, whatever he decides to do, I wish him nothing but the best of luck.
Right.
And I want to see him back behind the bench,
Right.
coaching
Everyone does.
high school hockey. And if he goes off into a different division or D1 or college, whatever, so be it. But I'm with you, Jerry. I think his desire is to stay in high school hockey.
Right. So he's been on our show we've been doing this about 10 years now. Pretty
Yeah.
close. He's been on our show. Wouldn't you say he's probably been one of our best guests of all the guests we've had? We've had a lot of guests.
Yes. I will say this, that the shows that we put on our YouTube channel,
Yeah.
the ones with Mike are always the most viewed.
Yeah. I mean, he just has a lot to say. I mean, you listen when he talks.
Well, you guys are friends. Have you talked with him?
Only 60 years.
Well, okay. All right.
The whole
So,
family.
not that long, but have you guys talked yet after this?
I talked to him
Okay.
for about 5 minutes over at the press conference before he went on.
All right.
And I've been around some of the family, given a lot of hugs and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to tear up during the press conference there. But he just said it like it was, He didn't knock the people, but he just said parents are the problem. And it's screwing the game of hockey up.
Well, let me ask you this. What's Duluth East going to be like? What's that program going to be like without Mike and Mike's staff?
There's another thing, when you said staff there, that bothers me. Here's 5 more coaches that don't have jobs now that loved what they were doing.
Alum.
They were
East
given,
alum.
They were given
Yeah.
their extra time and everything. That bothers me a lot. But I'd say, boy, that's a tough one. This is just hard. It's going to go on for a long time. A lot of people aren't going to get over this one because this is the second time around, and something has to happen in Minnesota hockey or any sport everywhere in the United States that they got to have more rules where the parents have so little say. Their kid is under a coach, and the coach in the league has the rules.
Yeah.
And if you get out of hand, you can't come to the game or something. I don't know what the process would be to do something like this, but it's not working. What's going on now?
And it's not going to change.
Well, it can change, but I don't know which way to go to make it change when there's too many people. There's too many lawyers out there. And they can delay anything.
Now, is he facing some legal charges, some legal challenges here? Or?
I don't know the whole story there. They can accuse him of anything,
Yeah.
They did that before, and then that's where it turned out it was all wrong. It was a bunch of lies and everything, so. Just like they say it was funds that got him in trouble last time. He never touched money. He didn't know anything
Yeah.
about the money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was his.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Okay, anything else besides that particular topic?
Now, I think to keep this going, I think the next week or two, we're going to have a guest a parent that brought 2 of his kids up to Duluth, moved to Duluth for his job. And they went to Duluth East and played hockey for under Mike. And he'll have his story of what happened with his 2 kids and where they are today and
Yeah.
what Mike I mean, made of his kids, you know, and made them better men and all that, young men in this world. And so this will be interesting. And plus, he has a little to say about parents in hockey.
Now,
He's been around it.
is he closing in on, was it 700 or 800?
He's 658, and the record is 50, 49, 607. 707, I'm sorry. 707. Lauren Grosso from Rochester, Mayo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where is Eichelai in that list?
He's way down from
Is
that.
he?
He's about 6 or 7.
So he didn't have the longevity that these other coaches
He had
had.
pretty long, but not that long.
Had good teams at Edina.
Yeah. And plus, you know, you got to remember the top two coaches. One coached Albert Lee for many years and a few other schools, and the other one was Mayo almost all the whole time.
Okay.
That their schedule, there's not too many good schools down in the south, you know, Minnesota.
Is
So-
Laverne still cranking?
No, they went their program once that coach left, Mr. Brown. They went downhill again. So, yeah, that teams down south are low schedule. I mean, any good team in the Twin Cities will beat them by 15, 20 goals.
Okay, so do we know anything now about Minnesota high school hockey, what the MSHSL is doing, coming out of COVID, coming out of this pandemic? What's going to happen as we get closer to the season? I know we're a ways away. We're taping this in June. But
Right. I don't know. They haven't really said, but I think they're going to try to make everything come back to normal, where you can fill the stands again 100% if you want. If your school can do that. I mean, some schools just can't. They're not hockey schools, so people don't come out to hockey. But there's a lot of programs in the cities that they love their hockey, and so I hope that happens. But I think it will. I think the way things are going right now, no masks no more. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, most places it is nice.
But
It's
isn't
awesome.
it kind of funny? I went to some high school games. You have to be, I mean, it took going through ADs and principals to get into these games because they didn't want anyone there.
Yeah.
And so scouts and media, you still have to work it. And the kids were wearing masks still at the games. That's hard in hockey where you're breathing and all that.
No.
They hated it. Oh, they hated it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yep. But, you know that Mike coached 2 years at Denfield, too. And they brought that one team down to the state tournament.
Was that back in 88, 89?
Yeah, back in, I think, 87 and 88.
Well, they went
coached
down
that.
in, I think, 88 or 89. Mike coached that team?
Well, he was a co-coach.
Oh, okay.
And then he coached 2 years at Cathedral when Cathedral, my old school, finally ended their hockey. Thank God I was out of town now. Living in California, I couldn't. What? Cathedral no good in hockey now?
Yeah.
They were the best school for years in the whole state.
I know you've got some other things there. Why don't you go over what you have there with UMD and the Olympics? And
Oh, Mike was the last cut in the 1976 Olympics.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Herb took a
Oh,
liking
yeah,
to him.
because he and Herb in 56, same thing happened.
Well,
to him.
60.
Was it 60?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he went through the same thing.
Ah, interesting.
Well, why don't we just, because we haven't done any shows for so long, just what happened this last season. In college, UMass was the winner of the Frozen Four, top college team in the nation. But UMD went there for the 4th time in a row. They would have went 5, I think, if they would have had the non-COVID year. I mean, because they had a good team, I thought, the year.
UMass beat 3 Minnesota teams to get that
2.
championship. No,
But there was 3.
no, they beat Mankato, St. Cloud, and UMD. Or I mean, Mankato. They beat St. Cloud in the championship, and Bemidji.
Bemidji, okay.
They beat 3
yeah,
Minnesota
and,
teams.
Okay, they beat Bemidji in regionals, yeah, that way. I'm talking about the 3 teams, Minnesota teams that went there.
UMass was a pretty good team this
Yeah.
year, and I don't know if UMD could have beat that UMass team when they
had
did it 2
them.
years ago.
They had them. Yeah, UMD played a good game. But UMass is a winner, and UMD probably, how many years? 30 years I've been watching UMD when I'm back here. I think that was the worst period I've ever seen UMD play. It was that overtime period with UMass.
Ran out of gas.
They had nothing. anything on the boards, UMass kept the puck in control and kept it in the zone. It's amazing.
UMass kept their foot on the gas, Jim.
Right. Okay. Okay. But the first 2 periods, UMD was better, so they did have a chance. What's amazing about college hockey, they never done this, but if you're a senior this year, you can come back for another year.
So what does that do for the Bulldogs?
Bulldogs have some players coming back. Louis Rarrell and Roth is coming back, and who else? Another senior's coming back. Oh, I think Anderson and the other defense is coming back. St. Cloud's getting all their top players. Seniors are coming back. Every one of them.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
I mean, they're going to be a tough team.
Give them the trophy.
Don't go that far. They got to play the game, Ken.
Really? They're all returning?
Yeah. Okay, in high school, though, Eden Prairie won the 2A state tournament, and then Gentry Academy, who is going up to 2A now, they won the single A, Class A state tournament for the boys. And then girls, Edina won the 2A, and then Proctor Hermantown won the 1A. And that's the first time that Proctor Hermantown has won the state tournament. So that was nice. The local team, the girls and that. They were up at the Wilderness game and talking to Marty during the periods.
Yeah.
Marty Hill.
Well, we've come to the end of the program here. Just a couple of minutes left. We want to thank the staff at PACT-TV for producing this program. You can find us online at MinnesotaHockeyConnection.com. It's been a while. I'm trying to remember all this stuff.
It's different.
Find us on our Facebook page and like us there. And we want to thank the studio audience who's here today.
Yeah, we got a big clap.
And we'll be back. I'm not sure when to do this again.
Next
soon,
week or 2 weeks from now, we'll have a guest.
All right.
We'll have a guest, and then we'll get more into that Duluth East thing, and I'll get some other feedback by then.
Yeah, and we're going to have to talk some Minnesota Wild. There's a lot of things happening. Right. I know Kirill Kaprizov is up for Calder Trophy, Rookie of the Year. And there was a guy, Marco Rossi, who got COVID, got injured, actually developed a heart problem. He had to sit out. He was our #1 draft pick.
Right.
He was thought to be a Calder finalist.
Yeah, we thought he was going to come in and play this year, but yeah.
We'll see.
Right. Yeah.
Well, again, thanks for joining us, and we'll be back sometime soon to do it again. Thanks for watching.
See you next week.